Hello, everybody. It is Justin and Cody. Welcome to Yoga for Sore Legs. So if you are like me and sometimes you get those sore legs from whatever you're doing, maybe you're working, using them for exercise, you're a runner, this is the place to be. This is Strength, Yoga, and Freedom, the YouTube channel. I'm so glad that you're here. Let's begin our practice. Before we do, though, just know that props are okay to have with you. If you'd like any yoga blocks, those may be of help, and I may cue some things that you may want to use blocks for. They're not necessary. Same goes for maybe pillows or blankets. Again, not necessary, and this practice is really, it will tap into all levels, even if you've never done yoga before. So let's get started in our practice by coming down to our backs. To begin, and we're going to begin our practice in a butterfly, or sometimes you may hear this referred to as Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of your feet together so the knife edges of your feet on the pinky toe side are down on the mat, and just release your head and neck and shoulders down onto the mat. Maybe allow your hands and arms to go out to the side. Give yourself some room here to breathe, come into your practice, tapping into some stillness and some quiet, some peace as we begin. If this feels a little bit like too much on the legs to start, that's where you can place blocks. Maybe one underneath your left thigh or knee, maybe one under your right. You can do that if that feels okay. That's not necessary. And of course, you can move your heels closer towards you to get into a little more in the groin, back of the legs, or maybe away from you to lessen the sensation. Taking some time to notice, to be. And it doesn't matter what any of your poses look like. It doesn't matter if you're doing exactly what I cue. I like my students to feel free in their practice. So do what feels good for you. So that we can become aware even deeper of the physical to the mind connection. Let's move into a little light breathing. So take a nice slow inhale. Maybe your lips are sealed, maybe your mouth is open. Take a slow exhale. Another inhale. And an exhale. Feel your legs start to lengthen and open a little more. And as those legs lengthen out, stretch your whole body long. Take your arms up overhead. Point your heels towards the front of your space and point your fingertips towards the back of your space. Just give yourself a big full body stretch. Really engage all the muscles in your legs and your arms and your core just for a moment to get a big stretch. And then release everything down to the mat. Hug your knees in towards your chin. Give yourself a big hug. Maybe your chin can reach your knees, maybe not. Then let's start with some rocks, side to side. Allow the spine to get a good massage. Same thing with the low back. Often our legs are a product of what's going on in our back, spine, hips. So give your whole back body some love here. Just some nice rocks from side to side. And then let's just take a little bit of movement with the legs to get some blood pumping through there. So place your hands down onto the mat and then place the soles of your feet down onto the mat. Start by extending your right leg long. So push your right foot, sole of your right foot towards the front of your space, and then bring the sole of your right foot down to the mat. Push the left foot towards the front of your space, lengthen your left leg, bring it back to the mat. Let's do that again with the right leg. Reach forward, push, almost like you're pushing on the gas pedal. The gas pedal to more freedom in your legs. Go to your left side and just continue this slow motion. Push, flatten the foot onto the mat, push the opposite foot. So just go slow here, taking deliberate movements, nothing forced. Slow breaths. And then the next time your left leg extends long, let that be your last round and return both feet to the mat. Now table your legs so that both feet the soles of both feet push towards the front of your space. And then let's take some bicycles without using the arms. So push the right foot forward and then push the left foot forward as you bring your right knee towards you. So create some movement that's just a little more deliberate than when you put your feet on the mat, just what we did a moment ago. So in order for the legs to relieve soreness, we need to keep the movement going because stagnant energy gets stuck. So before we do any kind of stretching that's a little deeper, we need to make some movements, taking yang movements here. Yang yoga is the physical movement, the breath, the movement, all linking together. Our lives are very yang in nature. We're constantly on the go. So it's important when we're in yoga to mix some yin with our yang, which we'll be coming into next. Take one more round of these bicycle legs and then return both feet to the mat. Now take a slow windshield wiper to the right with your knees moving over, and then go to your left just to, again, give your low back, your glutes, the spine, just a little more love, as that movement you have done has created a shift in your energy. You may feel that already, right? Beautiful job, friends. And now, next time your knees come back to the center, open your arms wide so that you can hug your knees in one final time in this position. And we're going to start taking some rocks. Let's take 3 rocks. So we're going to go forward, 1, and back, 2, and back. Last one, 3. Now come back. This time come all the way up to a seat. Cross your legs. We're going to begin our stretching portion of this by crossing the right leg on top of the left. Now your right foot does not have to meet your left knee. It can be in any position that feels comfortable for you. The key here though is to engage what's going on in your sits bones, right? So allow your sits bones to stick right onto the earth nice and flat. You have a nice strong foundation. Have a nice tall spine here. Push your chest slightly forward. We're going to begin by walking the hands forward. So place your hands down in front of your legs and begin to walk forward. Now, as you're walking forward, your chin stays forward so that your spine stays long. Once you reach a position where you feel sensation happening in your right hip, into your right leg, possibly even into your left, just stop. There's no way for me to know where that will be in your body. Only you know where that will be. You may come to your forearms. Maybe you take a prop and place a prop for your arms to land, like a block or a pillow or a blanket. If this feels too intense on either your knees or your hips, place your right leg in front of your left. That will relieve some pressure. You also can take a block underneath your sits bones, right under your booty there, and you can do this pose with your hips elevated so that it relieves pressure. So there's options. Go ahead and settle into this pose and allow yourself that calm breathing. You return to that calm breathing and allow yourself to make the connection between your breath and what you're feeling in your body again. If you start to feel anything in your hips or legs that would feel as though it's painful or sharp or numb, just walk your hands back towards you slightly to relieve that, because we're not looking for pain, we're not looking to force anything, we're looking to settle in to the stretch. In this pose, in our yang practices, power yoga or yoga we do a lot of movement in, you may hear this pose referred to as double pigeon. In yin yoga, it can be called square pose. Sometimes you may hear this referred to as fire log pose. So while the names are different, the pose itself is geared to give you some space in your hips, which ultimately will relieve stress and pressure in the legs. Breath is soft and light. If your mind starts to drift, go ahead and just bring it back to your breath. Beautiful job, yogis. You can revisit this practice anytime you feel like your legs are so sore that you need a little release, a little relief, a little tune-up. Yoga is medicine. It gives you a nice healing touch. Nothing forced. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath here. So notice where your hands are and allow your hands to come to a place where they will be able to you'll be able to press into them so that you can press your upper body up, but move slowly as you do that and walk your hands back towards your legs. Come slowly to an upright position. And what we're going to do here is we're going to slowly lift this right leg up off of the left leg or out from in front of the left leg, whatever has happened there with your right leg, and extend your right leg long, but pause before doing anything else. Just let the fresh fluid start to flow through this right leg after all of the compression you've put into this hip, into the leg. And now turn your torso towards your right foot. Sit up nice and tall. Reach your hands forward like you're going to give someone a big hug. And with that same long spine, keep your chin elevated and start to lean forward. Now, there is no rule that says you have to touch your right foot, but allow the chest to move itself towards this right leg. If your leg is very sore, which is probably why you're taking this class, please move slowly into this, as this is going to activate and light the whole back side of your right leg. If you have those props, this might be a place where you'd like to place maybe your arms down on blocks for support. You can also take maybe a pillow or a bolster if you have a yoga bolster at home, and you can let your upper body rest. But just feel the back of your right leg starting to come into a nice stretch, but it's mild to moderate. We're not trying to go into a deep muscle stretch here. That's not what this is. This is yin. So we're not trying to force any type of deep, deep stretch here. Feel the back of your right leg. If your inhale allows you to come down a little more, your exhale may allow more release and more forward movement of your chest towards your leg. Maybe. And yoga is never about the chest or the torso hitting the leg. That's not the goal of the pose or the goal of doing yoga, so that you're so flexible that you're able to do that. That's not the goal. The goal is to feel something. So if you've ever thought to yourself, I'm not flexible enough to do yoga, that's your ego talking. Yoga is for every body. All you have to do is listen. We're going to be here for 5 more rounds of breath. Nice, slow, deliberate breaths. If you need to come back up to a seat, come on back up at any time and we'll meet there. Your last exhale. If you have not yet come back up, let's all come up to a seat. If you have any props around you, just remove them. And then slowly place your hands back on the mat. We're going to lengthen out both legs into a seated position where both legs are long. And then bring the feet back to the mat, and let's windshield wiper that out. So go to the right and then to the left. So now we're coming back into some yang movement, some movement that is a little more deliberate than just passive like we just were. So you're just moving right to left, and as you do this, you may start to feel the energy flushing out of the right leg, maybe even some energy flushing out of the left leg, depending on what your body is doing right now, right? Slow. And then bring your feet to about hip width distance and bring the hands so that your fingertips face your heels. We're going to take one reverse table. So press into your feet and lift up your hips. You can keep your head looking straight forward where your chin is close to your chest, or you can allow your chin to lift up if you're comfortable. Just take one breath in. And then on your exhale, lower back down to the mat. Beautiful job, everyone. Now we're going to go to the other side. So this time, the right leg will come in towards you, and the left leg will go on top of the right. Now you may notice on this side a different feeling. Maybe you have maybe you have more trouble moving your left foot over closer to your right knee than you had your right foot going over towards your left. So if you're feeling differences, that's normal, because our body, the sides of our bodies, are very different. So here we are on the left side, a nice tall spine again. We know where to go. We're walking forward slowly as we come into the left hip. Not only will you find some sensation going on in the left hip, but again, you may activate that right hip again and into the right leg. This pose also activates sensation into the glute. You may have noticed that on the right, and you're noticing it again on the left. So here you are in this square, double pigeon, fire log pose, whatever you want to call it. And you're allowing yourself to be calm and still again, passive. Paying extra close attention to what's going on in your body here. Once again, just noticing, just noticing. Don't forget, if you need to lift your way up and back your hands up, you're more than welcome to. You can use any props to rest arms on, or maybe your chest goes down that far and you'd like to rest there. All about what you need, not about forcing. We take lessons from our physical yoga and we apply them to our life. That's the goal of this community of strength, yoga, and freedom. Not just the physical practice, but what are the lessons we learn in the physical practice, like not forcing things or pushing ourselves too far. We don't want to do that here on the mat, but sometimes we do that in life. And it's very important to become very aware. That's why the physical practice of yoga is a gateway into understanding what you're capable of, what fulfills you, and also gives you room to grow on your own terms. And again, please revisit this practice anytime your legs are sore or you need a little extra love in the lower half of your body. A little bit of yoga is better than no yoga, my friends. Let's take a few more rounds of breath here. And then after you come to your next exhale, ground into those hands again so that you're able to walk them towards your legs. Go slowly as you elevate your upper body to a seat. And then we'll extend the left leg long. Go slowly because this leg has just been still and been worked. So you will feel, maybe you feel a temperature change. I just did from the groin up to the knee. I felt my left thigh change to a cooler temperature. Maybe you flex your left foot, turn and face your left foot, reach out like you're going to give someone a big hug, and start to come forward with your chin forward so that you come into the back of that left leg activating and come down to your degree again, folding to whatever degree your body says you can go. Please listen to your body and not to your head, thinking that you can touch your torso or your chest to your leg. That's not the goal. The goal is just to activate the back of your left leg. That line of fascia that maybe runs from your heel all the way down beneath your left knee, all the way up into your left glute. If you have straining in your knee, you can always take a block and place it under your left knee. That's an option. That will take some strain out of maybe the hamstring. I know for me, my left hamstring tends to be a lot tighter than my right. So you may have noticed that, or it may have happened on the other side. So wherever you are exactly where your body needs you to be in this pose. Of course, grabbing onto your foot is an option if that's there. Try to find the body and the mind connection through your breath. Maybe those inhales let you come deeper to your left leg. Maybe they allow you to back off. Just a few more rounds of breath to finish off this left side. Of course, if you are ready to come back to a seat, please come to a seat. Everyone else will take about 3 more rounds of breath together. Finishing out the pose with integrity. And integrity means you finish it out by how your body directs you to finish it. Walking the hands back. Prepare to extend both legs long again, but maybe stay in this position for just another moment and then extend them both long. Let's come to the windshield wipers one more time. Hands next to your hips or your low back. Windshield wiper the legs back and forth. And then we're going to take one more forward fold, but we're going to extend both legs long this time. We won't be holding this as long because we've really activated the legs and the hips. So this time reach forward again like you're going to give someone a hug. Point your toes maybe up towards the sky and start to lean forward as your chin stays elevated until you fold into a comfortable position. Once again, props can be here if you need them to be. We're going to take 5 rounds of breath in this full caterpillar pose. Softening, allowing, being. Doesn't matter how far your chest goes. Slowly begin to walk your hands back towards the hips, and then we'll meet lying on our backs. So come down onto your back. Pull your knees in towards you again. And let's come into a happy baby pose. In yin, we sometimes call this stirrup pose. Grab on maybe to the knife edges of your feet or your big toes. Take your knees out towards the sides and just allow your tailbone to try to meet the earth. It may not. You have the opportunity to rock from side to side here if that feels good. You also have the opportunity to stay in stillness. Maybe your elbows press into the edges of your knees to open up one final time in the groin, in the glutes, the thighs. Coming into gratitude. And then bring your knees back into the chest, but this time let the left leg go long. Keep the right knee in. Pause here. Flex both of your feet. And then take your right arm out to the side while holding on to this left knee. Bring the left knee across your body so that you come into a twisted roots variation, if that feels good, by crossing the right foot underneath the left thigh, or just allow your right knee to fall towards the left into just a spinal twist. Either variation is okay, it doesn't matter, whatever feels good for you. Getting a big stretch into the right side of your body, down through your right glute and through your right leg, low back, mid back, all connected, my friends. Release your right knee, come back to center. We're going to switch legs. You can hug the knees in here or directly switch your legs. You can send your right leg long. If you want the twisted roots version here, you can cross the left foot over the right thigh and go to your right, or you could just allow your left knee to fall over towards your right. Either way. Maybe take your left hand out towards the left side. Maybe look over your left shoulder or arm. A nice stretch in the left side of your body. And slowly release back into one final hug of the knees before our final Savasana. So let your whole body release into the mat. Legs long, arms may go out or next to you. Close your eyes. Find stillness. Find rest. Find Savasana. Slowly begin to make some deliberate movements anywhere in your body that feels good. And then let's bring those knees in one more time to the chest. This is actually a really good way to work your legs. Getting into a nice big ball of love for yourself, hugging it in. And then roll onto either side of your body so you can press your way up to a seat. Bring your hands directly into your heart center and then allow your chin to bow towards your fingertips. In gratitude for the teachers that have brought this practice down over the years to us, in gratitude for the space that you have practiced in, and in gratitude for just showing up. Thumb knuckles to the third eye. Together we bow forward. Namaste. Thank you all for joining me. Please revisit this practice anytime you need some leg relief from those sore legs. I'm happy to have been here with you. If you liked this class, please comment why you liked it below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to our email list so you know and can be the first one to know which classes are coming out here on the YouTube channel, as well as what episodes are coming out on our podcast version of Strength Yoga Freedom. All of that is there in the description for you. My gratitude to all of you, friends. See you soon.